I apologize. Just trying to get a jump on the day here. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and this is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the morning at 8 o'clock, or in today's case, just a couple of minutes early, to chat and see what's going on in the world of weather. I raise my cup to you and look forward to hanging out with you the next couple of minutes. Hope you're having a great start to the day. It is lovely. I'm not home. I'll tell you more about that coming up in just a little bit, but let's be sure to just get out and see what's doing this morning. There's a live look in Lake County, Lake Dora. It is stunning this morning. No matter where in Central Florida you are, the weather is looking fantastic. Clear skies. First warning live Doppler radar is rain free. That's the way we like it. Temperature wise, 63 degrees in Ocala. It's 69 in Leesburg, about 66 in Orlando. And along the shoreline, we're at about 73 degrees in the Brevard County area. So where do we go from here? Well, there you go. It looks gorgeous. The winds not quite as strong as they were yesterday. We'll go with a 5-10 mile per hour breeze. 79 degrees at 11 o'clock, 84 degrees at 1 p.m., and 88 degrees. Whew. 88 degrees. Now, keep in mind, that 88, believe it or not, is right about where we should be this time of the year. So we'll take that. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just kind of letting you know summer is approaching. Juan Carlos, good morning to you. Carmelo, good morning. Frank, how are you? Chris Pierce, good morning to you. Dawn, Shauna, good morning. Kevin says here in Brevard County, here in Brevard, hurricane insurance is eating us alive. Yeah, I mean, I think that all of Florida is dealing with that, and that's one of the topics we'll be talking about today. Nancy, good morning to you. I hope you're having a great start to the day. David, good morning. Kenneth is in the room. Over on YouTube, we've got Jamie Lopez. Good morning to you, Jamie. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Marie, good morning. So the forecast today is gorgeous. Let's look neighborhood by neighborhood, all right? If you live along the shoreline, it's not quite going to be as hot. Whereas if you live in the metro, if you live out west, those temperatures are getting a little bit warmer. 88 in Orlando, 89 today in Claremont, about 90 degrees, in Wildwood. John says, listening mode, good morning. Thanks for hanging out. Top of the morning to you, Sharon. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good one, Barb. Have a blessed day. You as well. You as well. So today is looking absolutely beautiful. Let me dial up the satellite and radar, and let's just review, right? Like you've got some clouds up north of us. That's not a problem at all. It's really not. It's going to be a lovely start to the day for us. And as a matter of fact, aside from a few showers up in the Panhandle, the entire peninsula is getting that. Where do we go from here? What's our overall weather pattern the next couple of days, right? It does change. We've got some adjustments in here. So let's just kind of get to it, all right? So here we are, nice and sunny today. We're going to start building in heat in a pretty big way looking ahead to tomorrow and especially on Wednesday. We're going to get this situation on Wednesday where we've got a frontal boundary north of us, okay? Squeeze playing with this cold front. Will be this area of high pressure. So you're going to have a pretty good little wind profile there. And because that area of high pressure is going to be sitting over us where it is, you're going to end up getting what we refer to as compressional heating. So all of these things are kind of coming together. We're going to have ourselves a pretty nice and toasty, warm, but then stormy forecast. We'll have to take a look at Futurecast in a couple of minutes. And then that front sneaks through enough to kind of start pushing the stormier conditions a little further south of us, okay? Now, I will tell you that oftentimes the rainy season starts off with an old front that dies, deposits moisture, and then we don't get more fronts in. But this front, at least for now, seems to be strong enough to be able to move through. So at the moment, it does not look like it's going to be one of those situations where we're starting the wet season, okay? What do you look for in the wet season? Let's just discuss that, okay? It's usually late May, so we're still a little early for it. But that's when you get those daily sea breeze showers and storms firing up every afternoon. We know it oh so well. Those morning lows hang out in the upper 60s to about 70, and the cold fronts stop arriving. So we know that that's not exactly happening here, right? We know that we've got a cold front sneaking in. I'm typing for another graphic, but ahead of that front, like for today, it's nice and sunny. And then ahead of that front, we'll watch that area of high pressure building in, and it's going to give us just more and more warmth looking ahead to tomorrow, kind of a bit of a southerly component to the winds. And then it's going to be on Wednesday that those storm chances rise. So let's do this then. Let me pull up the Futurecast, and I don't know if our high resolution Futurecast will go this far, but let's give it the old college try. All right. So here we are, Futurecast for today. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Little sea breeze collision out west around 7, 8 o'clock. May get a shower out that way. But it looks like we don't have enough moisture to really get much. All right. Then to Tuesday. Looking very nice. Looking very nice. Some additional clouds for sure tomorrow as we're starting to moisten things up, and a sea breeze collision, but not enough moisture. Then on Wednesday, that's where we're going to be seeing, like, look at that, 2:30, 3 o'clock, bubbling up those showers and those thunder showers, right? 5 o'clock over the metro and off to the west. Then you get those storms even over to Marion County. Now, if that happens, listen, my Marion friends, you know what I'm talking about. It's been a minute since you've seen some decent rain. So I, for one, would not hate that scenario. But again, looking ahead to Wednesday, that rain chance is going to be on the rise. So just look out for it. All right. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? And then we can kind of take from here and we can get into why I'm not in town. All right. Let's do that too. But first, let's take a look. Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. Today is looking gorgeous. Tomorrow, a few more clouds, a little more heat. Not a bad day at all. 91 degrees, the high temperature. On Wednesday, flat out hot, 94 degrees, the high temperature, not to record levels. I looked it up. What is today? Today's the 8th, 9th, 10th. Wednesday's the 10th. Let me just double check. Let me just double check the record. Stand by 2 seconds. May 10th. All right. Record high temperature at Orlando International Airport is 98. Let's hope we don't get there, right? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. I'm hoping that we do not get to 98 degrees. So, yeah, there's that. Jeannie says rain is good. Keep that purple and red away. Oh, you mean like the stronger storms? Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Weekend looks great for putting new sod down. Oh, there you go. Very cool, Annie. Like that. Like that. Hey, good morning to you, Frankie. Mickey over on YouTube. Model still showing triple-digit heat. Well, let's take a look. And remember, as I always show, like, I'll show you the model data as long as you understand that the computer models are guidance, not gospel. I got that from good old Mike Lyons. Let's see. Okay, so the models have definitely pulled their head out of their tuchus a little bit, but it's still building that heat in. And then we get that frontal passage around May 11th, 12th, right? And then the heat starts building Saturday, Sunday, 13th, 14th, hot Monday, the 15th, Tuesday, the 16th. And you notice like that next frontal passage is like not quite as effective, right? That's where you can tell we're easing more and more and more into that summertime-like weather pattern. Yeah. And by the way, I apologize. My camera feed is not that great today. Where I am at the moment does not have the greatest cell reception. So I may end up, I mean, if it's a problem for you guys, then I can do Coffee Talk somewhere else tomorrow. If it's not a problem, then I can do Coffee Talk here. Yeah, just not the fastest internet connection, we'll say. Ethan's asking, do you think we'll get any more severe weather events this season? You know, we'll have to watch, man. It's just one of those things. We'll have to watch. You know, I'm starting more and more to look into, if I'm honest with you, I'm starting more and more to look into hurricane season and to see what what trickery Mother Nature's wanting to throw our way there, which, speaking of which, I will tell you why I'm here in South Florida, and we'll look at some models and do all that fun stuff as well. But continuing with your questions, yeah, as far as severe weather goes yet this season, these frontal boundaries, you just never know. So we kind of have to watch things, and certainly we will be doing just that. Beth says it's okay, totally understand. As long as you guys don't mind it, I mean, it's fine for me. It's really what's funny. So I'm running Coffee Talk. This is nerd stuff, but you guys, like it or not, are nerds. So I'll share it with you. I'm running Coffee Talk through Orlando. So when I'm on the road and the internet signal is a little iffy, what I do is I literally video feed my webcam on my computer to my computer at Wesh, and then I run Coffee Talk out of Wesh. So at the very least, like, the weather graphics are as high resolution as is possible, and I don't need as much of an internet connection. So this is how I kind of circumvent the issues that I don't have control over, right? So like the only thing that's really not great is my webcam. My audio should be fine, but at least the graphics are high resolution, and your bandwidth should be high resolution because this is being run through Wesh in Orlando. So nerd stuff. Kenneth says it's good. Stability matters more than the image quality. It's better to hear just you than a chorus of voices and music in a coffee shop. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. So, all right, very cool. As long as you guys don't mind, so I appreciate it. All right, so let's say this is the 7-day forecast. It's looking good. Now, I know you guys love the long range stuff. I certainly love the long range stuff. So let's look, and again, we're transitioning more and more into the rainy season. So when we do our long range calendars, what we're going to start to do, and we've done this for this month, we're going to more tap into like tropical areas to watch, okay? Now, I will tell you that I've been monitoring the models, and they've been showing some features trying to show up, maybe perhaps waking up the tropics a little bit. And I was on the phone with Jeremy Nelson on the drive down to West Palm yesterday for a bit, and we were like, man, do we need to shift our dates forward a little bit? Like, it just seems like the pattern is going quick. So really, we may have to make some tweaks to, hold on one second. Hey, buddy, I'm on Facebook Live. Can I call you right afterward? Sure. All right, bye, buddy. So we may have to make some tweaks to our dates. We'll see. My goal is not to make tweaks to the dates, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so here's the May calendar. So we've got starting, so today's the 8th. So from about this weekend through next week, the pattern should show moisture passing either off the shoreline of the Carolinas or near the shoreline of the Carolinas. So that's where we've got Carolina coast storm. And then afterward, the week of the 21st through about the 25th, Gulf coast of Florida, and then the 29th through the 31st, we should be watching the east coast of Florida. So let's do this. Let me pull up the raw GFS model. Okay, this is the most recent run. I'll tell you, I've not seen this yet, so we're going to look together. Okay, so high pressure over us, that's fine. And if you're new to Coffee Talk, by the way, we do this during hurricane season. We look at raw model data all the time. It's like I don't want to say it's our bread and butter, but we do this all the time. All right, so high pressure is orange, lower pressure is the blue stuff. Okay, so kind of there you go, Tuesday the 16th. So there's some moisture around the Carolinas. All right, nothing organized, that's fine, but that part of the pattern is showing up. And then we've got something over there. You see that? That's the 24th of May. Pressure's lowering over the Bahamas. Now, around the 24th of May, it should still be in the Florida Gulf Coast storm window. We'll see how this plays out. Now, the model runs have been just all over the place with this. Like, for example, if I go back one run, it's more Gulf Coast, right? You see that there? If I go back two runs, It's kind of old front, Bahamas, so it's just kind of doing its thing. If I go back 3 runs, it was like over Mississippi and Alabama. If I go back 4 runs, it was definitely Gulf Coast. So the models are starting to sniff something out here. This has all been the GFS that I've shown you. The models are starting to sniff something out here. When it comes to computer models, okay, and I know, this may sound a little preachy, and I certainly don't mean that, but when it comes to computer models, remember, consistency is everything. All right, so we haven't gotten consistency on anything, which means there's nothing to really pick up on just yet. Okay, all right. Let's go over to the European. Now, this is the European Ensemble Control, which the reason that I'm using the Ensemble instead of the Operational is it's going to let me go out 360 hours. All right, so little coastal Carolina deal there. Nothing crazy. Now, you've got something bubbling up in the Gulf of Mexico right there, okay? Now, before getting too far, that is that is Thursday, the 18th of May. So that's a couple of days early. The pattern is going very, very fast right now. So that would be early if that's the Gulf Coast system. All right, roll that through. And then there's some lowering pressure out east, right? And that would be the 23rd. That's, yeah, so at least for right now, we're seeing each of the features that should be showing up, okay? But are they showing up on time? And again, is it just the model trying to sniff something out and it's going to continue to kind of kick the can down the curb? That's something we'll have to watch. But I mean, I'll tell you, the features are there, but we may have to tweak the timing. I'll tell you, if this all plays out early, we're going to have to do what we don't want to do, which is fine tune the timing of these events. And I really, really don't like that. But if the pattern is speeding up, then the pattern is speeding up, and we just kind of have to do what we have to do. All right. So that's just kind of a look at May. But that is to say that the models are trying to sniff something out. Does it become tropical in nature? Too early to tell, right? But the models are trying to figure something out, and because of that, it's a good reminder that there are 24 days until the start of hurricane season, okay? All right, so that leads me to why I am here, okay? I'm here because this is the Governor's Hurricane Conference down here in West Palm Beach. I first covered this event 17 years ago when I was working full-time in West Palm Beach at WPBF. And I will say that this is kind of a unique event. Oh, so many emergency managers and meteorologists from government agencies are coming together with vendors. And the whole idea is to put all of the brain trust, the community leaders and the informers together in an area where there are training sessions. One of the interesting training sessions I'm looking forward to kind of popping in on is emergency managers and social media. How can they leverage social media to better communicate their message during times of emergency? And I would imagine that could be something such as, bridge closures. All Central Florida beach counties, except Brevard County, close the bridges at a certain wind load. Brevard County does not. So that's one interesting point. The next interesting point would be, water dangers, such as if lift stations aren't operating, let's not, just all kinds of things. It makes you kind of think, and so how to communicate that. Hurricane hunter tours, all these different things, so that emergency management, all of these different agencies that help all of us can get on the same page, learn the lessons from last year, and look ahead to this year and see what lessons can be learned this year. So it's always a very interesting event. I've not been down here in the last couple of years, but I've covered this many, many, many times. Usually the governor will come by and chat. Kind of the governor and the first governor that I covered that was down here was it Jeb or was it Charlie Crist? I can't. Whoever was governor in '06. You historians, Kenneth, I'm looking at you. Whoever was governor in '06. But they used it as like a springboard to talk to the residents of Florida. So I've not gotten down there just yet, so I don't know if Governor DeSantis will be there. But it's kind of, think of it as the final checkbox before hurricane season when it comes to getting everybody on the same page. I was at the Brevard EOC last week, and they were sending representatives down here. So it's a good, at the end of the day, it's good because it's officials, government, community leaders getting together to chat. And also one of the neater features here is the exhibit floor, the new products, okay, the new products that are being developed and sold that may help with hurricane mitigation or hurricane response or whatever the case may be. Lawton, are you saying Lawton Chiles? Is that what you're saying, Chris? I know he wasn't governor back in '06. But I do remember him. Yeah, so that's why I'm here. I will be reporting live, I'm told, on our noon newscast and 4 o'clock newscast. Jeannie, are you sleeping on someone's pull-out couch? Sorry, I'm observant. So let me tell you, okay, you are observant. So this is kind of a fun thing. All right. So Governor Bob Graham, yeah, now we're going back. Okay. So where am I? I could have stayed in a hotel, but I'm actually staying with my dear friend, Glenn Glazer. He and his wife, Tasha, put me up. Now, when we had Eric down here in West Palm 5 years ago, we were stuck in West Palm Beach. So what did we do? At the time, the Glazers were friends of ours, but how could you, and so when that happened, the Glazers said, come stay with us. We have a mother-in-law suite. It's private. It may not be, it may not be like a spa hotel, but it's someplace to stay. So for the goodness of their hearts, they put us up for like a month in here. And there was a bed. Glenn's mother used to stay here seasonally, and they've since purchased a home. So there's not a bed now. It's the couch bed, which is fine. But fast forward a few years, and my boss hired Glenn at WPBF and joked, knowing that I had stayed here, joked knowing that the Glazers and us are good friends, and joked and basically said, Glenn will put you up. And my reaction was, if I ask that, do I get to cover the Governor Hurricane Conference every year because it's essentially a cheap trip for the station? And I got a wink. So hopefully, I'll get to do this every year because I do love coming down here. I call Palm Beach County my second home. I really feel that at home down here. I was at WPBF for 7 years. I was at WESH for some of those 7 years as well, but yeah, I was down here for I think it was like 7.5 years. So I'm excited to work with the crew from WPBF. What's funny is WESH, we're not sending a photographer. I'm actually going to be using the WESH reporter microphone and the WESH photographer, and this morning meteorologist for WPBF I worked with when I was down here, Sandra Shaw. She was our morning meteorologist when I was here. So it'll be very fun to kind of reconnect and do a little TV from my second home. So that's it. Chris says, "Oh, that's much better living situation than a hotel." Oh yeah, and having some of your dearest friends downstairs. Absolutely. This pull-out couch is really comfortable for what it's worth. I mean, I used to sleep on gym floors doing the drum corps thing, so I can pretty much sleep anywhere. But yeah, so I'm grateful for the Glazers to put me up. And very much looking forward to doing a little work with my sister station, WPBF. So at noon today and at 4 today, I believe we are scripted to do some live reports, which means that at 8:30 or so, I'm going to have to hit the road, Jack, grab my coffee, and then head down to the Governor's Hurricane Conference, which is I'm in Jupiter right now, so it's like a 10-15 minute drive. It's not too bad. So anyway, but this is, I will say this is the first time that I'm in this mother-in-law suite since we had Eric. So it's been 5 years since we've been here. And I've got to tell you, it's kind of like this place brings back some of the emotions. It's kind of this like PTSD thing. Like I remember living here, not knowing how long we were going to be in here, and not knowing how little guy was doing. I just remember sitting on this couch calling the night nurses at like 10, 11 o'clock after night rounds and going through that. So it's been an interesting time. Like I got here last night, I was like, well, this is trippy. So yeah. Debbie, have my friends seen before this since your weight loss? Oh yeah, my gosh, we get together like once every month or two. Every time we're down in West Palm, we try to connect with them on vacation, and they come up to Disney, and we try to connect, and they've been over. We've barbecued at my house, and yeah. So we try to get together just as much as we can. So it's a lot of fun. So anyway, enough of me. Enough about me. But it's a little weird. Yeah. So all right. Any questions about the Governor's Hurricane Conference? Oh, I thought that was the 7-day standby. Let me pull up the 7-day. Any questions about our 7-day forecast? Anything? Do you have any questions about life? Annie says, my kids say there is great snorkeling there. There is great snorkeling here. I got my scuba certification when I lived down here, and I used to scuba dive 7 days a week when I lived down here. It was great. Yeah, Annie. Great snorkeling, great scuba diving. Jeannie, important question. How good is the coffee? To paraphrase something my father always says, even the worst coffee I had was great. I don't know if that's the case. No, the coffee's great. Yeah. We like talking about you with you. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Wendy says, hitting the theme parks Wednesday night, are we looking at a lot of rain? I would say that 30% coverage is not going to ruin a ton of plans unless the storms catch you off guard. So just know that there's going to be a few storms. And if you're around the theme parks, that's in the zone where we do think that the storms will fire up. So for what it's worth. Yeah. Nancy, thank you. By the way, I do plan on trying to do an afternoon coffee talk today. I can't promise that I'll be able to do it. It just depends on logistics, cell phone reception, among other things. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Dominique, can anyone attend the Hurricane Conference? Yes, asterisk. So as a member of the media, I had to register as a media representative. But for all others, I mean, they have to pay for a pass. So, I mean, I think anybody can, but it's not, it's not the cheapest thing, but it's not like I'm covering it. I'm not sitting in on these events. I can kind of pop my head in and everything. But, remember, these are like courses that the emergency managers get credit for, and they're, continuing education type stuff. So it's that kind of a thing. But yeah. Taylor says, we've watched the kiddos grow up. We are invested in you as a person too. Well, thank you, Taylor. I just, I'll always share, but I don't want to talk too much. I guess that's the thing. So yeah. Thank you, Eric, for giving us a look at the weather this week. Of course, my pleasure. And thank you guys for hanging out. So, all right, it's 8:26. I guess that's that. I'll try and pop on at 3:30 today for the afternoon coffee talk from the Hurricane Conference. Sound good? Sound good? Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. I'll be tweeting and all that fun stuff through the day. And if I see some cool stuff, I'll be snapping pictures and posting it. All right? All right. Thank you very much. Take care, you all.